So, does anyone remember iDosing? Those shady 2010s YouTube vids promising digital highs without the drugs? As a Vermont teen who definitely experimented with substances as a kid, I remember being really excited when I first heard about this. I still remember downloading the app, popping in headphones, and putting on a track called White and Wet, which was supposed to simulate the effects of being cross-faded on coke and alcohol. And spoiler, did not feel anything but headaches and maybe a placebo effect at best. And since I haven't really seen much about it online recently, I figured why not deep dive into its rise within internet culture and finally answer the question, was it all just a scam? From 1800 science to internet panic, if you tried this back in the day, make sure to comment your weird stories. Hit like and sub for more 2010s gems, and sit back as we look back on the history of iDosing. Alright, let's rewind to the basics. Binaural beats aren't some new TikTok trend. They're an auditory illusion discovered in 1839 by German physicist Heinrich Wilhelm Dove, who figured out that when you play two tones simultaneously, one in each ear at slightly different frequencies, like 300 Hz in the left and 318 Hz in the right, for example, your brain freaks out and creates a third beat at the difference of 18 Hz. It's not a real sound per se, but more of your brain playing a trick on itself. Dove experimented with tubes leading sounds to ears, finding it can mess with perception, kinda like early ASMR hacks. But that's pretty much as far as he got with the research. Fast forward over a century, and in 1973, biophysicist Gerald Oster published a bombshell report titled Auditory Beats in the Brain, linking binaural beats to brainwave syncing. He saw potential for diagnostics and therapy, like treating anxiety or boosting focus. I mean, there have been stories of ancient cultures using drum beats for trances for centuries, but this was science-backed. Beats in delta for deep sleep, theta for dreams or memory, alpha for chill creativity, beta for focus, and gamma for peak cognition. But the biggest thing science really couldn't answer was, were these real life-changing effects or just some sort of placebo effect? Some studies show reduced anxiety and pain, but others call evidence limited. And while all of this sounds cool and fascinating, things got a little crazy once the internet would get a hold of it. By the 2000s, binaural beats went digital. Apps like iDoser, which launched in 2007, sold MP3s claiming to simulate the effects of drugs, selling tracks like marijuana for chill, cocaine for energy, and even ecstasy for orgasms. Which is like, who figured that one out? They use binaural tech to entrain your brain, syncing waves for highs without risks. In 2010, it blew up, with teens and young adults iDosing all over YouTube, faking highs for views, which I've never done, by the way. This in turn led to a media freakout, the BBC straight up called it digital drugs, schools were banning iPods, and parents worried that iDosing was, of course, a gateway drug. Which is just like, come on, man. But still, all of this culminated into a wider cultural impact. There was all of a sudden a massive market for this stuff, with millions downloading the iDoser app or visiting the website, which was charging $2 to $10 per dose. News outlets called it digital reefer madness, while science started debunking it. Reviews found mixed evidence. Some studies showed theta beats reduce anxiety, but there was no consistent entrainment across frequencies. As for the critics, they called out the limited proof, potential headaches from overuse, and it's neutral at best. No real highs. There was a little wave here too, where people attempted to use iDosing to actually wean people off of drugs, which I thought was really cool, and was one of the things that initially made me really interested in it. But as you can probably guess by now, since it doesn't really get you high, it doesn't really help with that. And even if it did really get you high, I guess that it wouldn't be that much better, because then addicts could just get high, stay healthy, and do it whenever they want, which I guess that's kind of whack. A 2021 survey found that 72% of global drug users tried binaural beats for relaxation, 35% used it for mood change, and only 12% actually used it for drug-like effects, with most of those often being psychedelics. And like I said, while science backs some benefits like anxiety relief and help sleeping, as for actual highs, yeah, no, that's not happening. And if it does, experts say it's usually because of the placebo effect or even outside sources like peer pressure. So no real drug effects here, just auditory perception tricks, with some people even reporting it can cause severe headaches from overuse. and all of this eventually led to a decline in usage. Hype died down as the placebo was exposed, and while yeah, schools and media definitely overreacted, it's a pretty interesting glimpse into some 2000s and 2010s counterculture and how all types of people interacted with it. And what's going on today with it, you're asking? Well, it seems that eye dosing is mainly being used in wellness apps for meditation or other spiritual purposes or rituals. As for the future, some companies have planned to integrate VR and AI technology into the cause, hoping it'll give more light onto its potential, but overall, it's still fairly niche in the world of science, and definitely does not have the same pull it used to. Looking back, eye dosing captured 2010's internet chaos, a harmless hype that got way too overhyped, and while binaural beats have real roots, with some benefits for relaxation and anxiety, the idea of digital drugs is still just that. An idea. Not a total myth, but definitely just placebo at best. And while people still use and experiment with the technology today, it seems it's pretty much died out and left most people's brains. Well, it sounds really cool at first, and it's really easy to get tricked into all the info you can find out there. Ultimately, there's just not enough real scientists researching this anymore. Especially with it known for causing headaches pretty regularly, it seems like it's something that should be left in the past, or needs a lot more time and research to be figured out. But that's all I got for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, or tried eye dosing yourself, make sure to like, comment one of your memories or experiences with it, and subscribe so you can stay tuned on more 2000s and 2010s nostalgic stuff like this. Remember, anything can be special, it's just how you look at it. Peace, y'all.